Now, Mary Catherine Ham, Brian Wilson, Brian Neiman, today's newsmakers, and you, the Morning Majority. 105.9 FM. AM 630. WMAL.
6:38 on WMAL. Brian Neiman, Brian Wilson, Karen Henry is in for Mary Catherine this morning. Yesterday, word got out that there was another shooting at Virginia Tech on the campus in Blacksburg. Everybody just shaking their head. Parents obviously very concerned. Alumni just freaking out that this could possibly happen again. Some 3 or 4 years after that massacre in 2007 that killed 32 people. ABC's Stephen Portnoy is live in Blacksburg this morning. Stephen, walk us through the timeline. What exactly happened and how was it handled by the campus?
Well, good morning, Brian. This all started about noon yesterday in a parking lot outside Castle Coliseum here. There was a traffic stop underway. The officer was effecting that stop, pulling somebody over. We don't know why. But all of a sudden, someone else, not the person who was being pulled over, comes up, ambushes the officer, shoots him. Witnesses saw it happen. The campus response was quick. There was an alert issued within minutes. About a half hour later, police noticed someone acting suspiciously in a nearby parking lot about a quarter mile away. The way the officials describe it, officers saw this suspicious character, and as they wanted to or sought to respond to him or approach him effectively, the second person shot himself. They have not officially confirmed that, but what they ask us to do is read between the lines,
right,
because a weapon was found nearby, and no one else is said to have shot this person.
So it's pretty clear they believe the suspect shot himself later in the parking lot.
Yes, there's a bit of frustration that has developed here over the course of the last 18 hours or so, because police have been rather, I hate to use the word cagey, but they've not really been incredibly forthcoming with all the information. For example, we still don't know who this shooter was. We don't know his age. We don't know his relationship to the university. We don't know his relationship to the officer. We don't know anything about him except to say that he was, it seems, the shooter. Overnight, police officially linked the two shootings, saying that ballistics tests confirmed that the bullet that killed the officer, 39-year-old Derek Krause, came from the same gun that killed the second person. We also know that the shooter was caught on the officer's in-car video camera system. So it is now safer to say that, in fact, the second person was the shooter and likely shot himself. We don't know who he is.
Now, why are they being mysterious about that, do you think?
Oh, Brian, I don't know. I would have to imagine it's because they don't feel they have a full handle on all the details. There's a reticence, I think, to say something they don't know to be true, which reveals how much they perhaps don't know themselves.
Do they think that the police officer was targeted, or do they think it was just a random shooting? There has to be a motive behind it, I would guess.
Well, we'd hope to know. We don't. And that is the big question here. Why would someone ambush a police officer in a parking lot? Did the two people have a relationship? Did they know each other or not? Was it random? Why would that happen? Where did the gun come from? What was that person doing here on the campus of Virginia Tech? Was he a student? We don't know any of those questions. Any of those questions.
Has law enforcement given you any indication when they may release the identity of the shooter?
You know, Karen, they haven't. We had a press conference here yesterday about 4:30 in the afternoon. All of the questions that we're talking about now were asked and not answered yesterday. The only news that we've had since then is the fact that the ballistics test came in and the fact that the shooter was caught on the officer's video camera. We also learned the details of the slain officer. He was 39-year-old Derek Krause, a 4-year veteran of the police force here at Virginia Tech, an Army veteran, joined the force 6 months after the shootings here at Blacksburg in 2007, and was part of the emergency response force, specifically designed to respond to shootings like the one that occurred here yesterday.
Well, let's talk about what happened back in 2007. The university was roundly criticized for not having a plan in place, not having a good plan to respond to these sort of things. How was the response yesterday? From what I've heard, it was dramatically different.
Widely praised, Brian, by students here who got text messages, emails, even automated phone calls to their cell phones minutes after the first shooting here yesterday. They remember, this is a student body that was, for the most part, especially the undergrads, in high school in 2007. They speak of April 16th here the way we talk of September 11th, shorthand to describe all the horrors of that day, 4.5 years ago, the worst mass shooting in American history. And so when there is what they call a VT alert that goes out, everyone takes it extremely seriously. There have been a few alerts over the years that were false alarms, but still, it brings a dramatic response every time. And so certainly that happened yesterday. People who were on campus, remember yesterday was a reading day, the last day before finals were set to begin. They stayed where they were. They were locked down. There were National Guard troops that happened to be here on campus for one purpose or another that were seen on videotape that were taken by students, keeping people in the building and basically maintaining control. The irony, though, is that the chief of police, along with other top university officials, as Bill Thompson reported, were in D.C. yesterday to fight the $55,000 fine assessed by the Education Department for what happened here 4.5 years ago. The university still maintains it was not in the wrong when Sung-Hee Cho had his massacre here.
One last question. Got a couple seconds on this. The suspect who was pulled over for the routine traffic stop, do we know his identity, and has he been cleared on this? Do they think he's connected at all?
We have heard nothing to suggest that the person who was pulled over has had anything to do with this. We don't know, what was the cause of the traffic stop. We don't know what the officer was doing exactly, except to say it was routine. For all we know, he was giving somebody a ticket.
Right. Okay, Stephen, great to talk to you as always. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Stephen.